Alright, welcome to another episode of Poorly Cooking with the King, and today we're going to be doing an American classic, and it's actually one of the quickest things that you can cook in your kitchen, really easy. We're going to be doing hot dogs, but also, as a little side, I have some, well, they're hidden. Got some baked beans that I'm going to be making at the same time. Don't have too much to put on the hot dogs, unfortunately. I looked and I completely forgot this week. I needed relish, I needed sauerkraut. There's like 3 or 4 things I was going to buy, and I completely forgot about it when I went shopping on Monday. So that's my fault. But we're going to show you the basics. So for starters, if you're like me, you don't know exactly what you're going to eat every day, okay? And especially if you're like me and you live alone, I don't think you're going to be eating 8 hot dogs in one sitting. Now, most hot dogs come in these 8-packs, unless you buy them fresh from your grocer, which you can do. You can get them from a deli singly. What I do is usually I freeze this 8-pack, and then when I'm ready to cook them, what you do is you take them out, and my sink is actually full of water right now. What I did is about an hour and a half ago, I filled the sink up with warm water. I took the frozen 8-pack, threw it in there, and now it is perfectly thawed. I mean, these are ready to go, ready to open and cook. So that is how you thaw hot dogs relatively quickly. Now, I actually like Nathan's Beef Franks because I grew up with them. There used to be a Nathan's at my local mall. I used to eat there all the time, and I really like the flavor of them. Obviously, any kind of Frank will do. They're all pretty much the same. But anyway, I'm going to drain my sink because I don't want this thing full of water all day. What we're going to do is we're going to fry them up. There are different ways to make hot dogs. You can boil them, you can fry them, you can grill them. I don't have a grill here, obviously. The quickest way for me to do this and to show you guys how the quickest way to cook them would be to fry them up. So that's what we're going to do. Super easy. I mean, I can't even, it's really hard to fuck up a hot dog. Let's put it that way. You really have to try. So let's go ahead and get this started. What we're going to do is we're going to spray, as usual. You usually can put butter, but I like to put Pam. Spray that in the pot there. In the pan. Just covering it there. That takes care of the coating. We're going to go up and turn it up to roughly medium heat. Okay. At the same time, we are going to cook the baked beans. Here's the thing. Any can of beans that you get, the easiest thing on the planet because it's already cooked. All you need to do is warm this up and you're ready to go. So we got a pot here. We're going to go ahead. Unfortunately, I don't have a mechanical can opener, so this could be pain in the ass, but we're going to open this guy up. Be very careful not to cut yourself when you do this. The other bummer is, for someone like me, obviously this can of baked beans is way too much for one person, but I live alone, so unless I invite someone over to share dinner with, I'm going to have way too many beans. I'm going to eat some, and I'm going to end up getting rid of the rest. Go ahead and, oops. Our lid is stuck, which I have to be super careful because the lid is so sharp. There we go. All the beans out of there into the pot. All set. We're going to go throw that out immediately so that there's no threat of getting cut. And like I said, the easy thing about this, there's no instructions needed. All you're literally going to do, you put them in a pot like so, you cover the pot, make sure that the beans are an even level in there, not that you have one tall hill of beans in the middle. And you go ahead, you can turn that right rear on medium heat. And you're just going to wait for it to your liking to heat up. Maybe you like them steaming hot, maybe you don't, maybe you just like them lukewarm. That's completely up to you. So we're going to do a couple things. I also want to toast the buns for the hot dogs, so I'm going to go ahead and turn my grill on. My panini press like you saw in the video for the tuna salad sandwich. 2 reasons I'm doing this. Number 1, because a plain white bun can be really boring. And number 2, because these were frozen. So they're kind of thawed out, but not completely. So I do want to toast them a little bit before I put my hot dogs on them. So, what are we going to do? We're going to go ahead and get this going. Before you fry anything, I've told you, turn on, if you have a fan, you have to turn the fan on at least low. Last thing you want is to have smoke coming up and have a smoke alarm go off, which has happened to me before. So, we got our hot dogs here. I'm going to go ahead and cut them open. Being very careful. Careful not to, if it's an open flame, this is an electric stove for me, this is safe for me to do this. If you have a gas oven, do not ever put your hand like that under the grill. You'll burn your freaking hand off. I'm going to go ahead with one. 2 hot dogs. Now, to make sure the hot dog does not burst, because what will happen is as it cooks, it'll actually start to swell. You have to make small incisions, okay? Diagonal incisions across the top of the dog, such as so. Don't go too deep, because if you go too deep, your hot dog is going to pull apart when you're cooking it, and it's going to basically not look like a hot dog anymore. So that's that. We're going to let that sit there and start to fry for a little bit. No big deal. I'm going to wash off a couple things over here while I have the chance. Grab my towel from over here and dry this off. All I'm going to do very simply with these hot dogs, it's your choice. I've seen people do different things. Some people will say, oh, I don't want to leave that in the original packaging, and they'll completely wrap these 6 hot dogs in new plastic wrap, and then wrap it in foil and put it in the fridge. Me, I do simple things. It's called a freezer bag. You put the damn thing in the freezer bag. You know, I'm not a perfectionist. Put it in the freezer bag. You basically fold it, you push it so that you make sure most of the air is out of the bag. I always buy the Ziploc bags because those are the easiest ones. Voila, and I toss that back in the fridge or in the freezer, and it'll refreeze for next time you want to use it. Okay. Now, the key to frying a hot dog is to not cook it on one side the entire time, because what happens is, as you'll start to see some sizzling under the dog. You'll start to see, let's actually zoom in there. The juices are starting to sizzle. If you overcook one side, that's how when you see those hot dogs with the bubbly skin, and you get those hot dogs with the crunchy skin, the burnt skin, that's why it's like that, because it's cooked too much on one side. Some people actually like that. I know people who actually go for crunchy skin on hot dogs, and I do not. I'm sorry. I like a nice, plump, juicy, tender-looking hot dog with maybe, you know, some grill marks here or there, maybe a little bit of burning on the side, but I don't like it with big, you know, bubbly skin. So as you can see, I flipped those hot dogs, and already you can see they were starting to grill on that side. They were already starting to brown. And you're just going to keep rotating them until you're done. Now, you don't want to take these off until, say, at the very least, 5 minutes has passed. Some people like raw food, and you know, I love like a medium rare steak or a medium rare burger, but a hot dog, I want to make sure my hot dog's cooked. So I'm probably going to cook these until several sides are browning before I decide to try to take these off of the frying pan here. As you can see, the beans are steaming up, which means they're getting warm. And this pot actually has a hole on top, so I can put my hand over the hole. It's in the back, you can't really see it, but there's a hole right here, and I can feel that it's getting warm. So it's getting to the point, they're starting to get good there. My grill is almost warmed up. I'm going to wait for that light on the right hand side to turn blue, and then I know that it's fully heated up. Then I'm going to toss my buns on there to grill them. Extremely simple. You know, if anything, I'm hoping that I can teach some people how to cook the simplest meals. You know, bacon, egg, and cheese, a quick scrambled eggs, a quick how to do a hot dog. You know, a burger. So you know, these are the things that no one teaches you if you don't have time, if you don't have someone sitting at home cooking for you. How are you ever going to learn these things? So, all right, our grill is ready. Now, what I'm actually going to do, put it down this way. I'm going to get some nice grill marks on these buns, and I'm going to let it sit like that for a second so it starts to grill. Then I'm probably going to just press it for a very short amount of time. Now, as you see, our hot dogs are now bubbling. We need to flip them again. That's the sign. And you just keep rolling them around. Just make sure they're not cooking on one side for too long. And yes, they will fight with you. You will find that the hot dogs will like to roll themselves around. That actually happens when they get hot enough. They actually start moving themselves in the pan. And you have to fight to make sure it doesn't keep landing on the same side, or else you're going to end up with a burnt hot dog. Isn't this exciting? Those beans are probably almost ready. You can see all the steam on top. I'm checking and they're starting to bubble. When the beans start to bubble, that is the sign that they are ready. So I'm actually going to get the bowl ready. And if you want to be safe, which you probably should be, which I usually aren't, but I'm going to be safe now. Use a ladle. Don't just pour the damn pot into a bowl. Use a ladle to get it into the bowl. Turn that heat off. Get that lid into the sink. And is the camera? Yes, the camera's correct. Scoop those beans right in there. Those are nice hot beans. I'm not going to eat all these beans. There's no way on the plan I'm going to eat all these beans, but like I said, it's tough when you live alone. It's tough to find things that you can either make small servings or you can save. Like, you wouldn't want to save beans that you keep reheating. They're going to turn into mush, especially if they're a good brand like Bush's. I like Bush's. They're a really good, tasty brand that I wouldn't want to keep reheating these things. Okay. We're going to flip our hot dogs in a second, but what I'm going to do now with our buns, as you can see, we're starting to grill nicely. Look at that. We got beautiful grill marks. We're going to go ahead and flip them like that. Those buns are toasting very nicely. Now we're going to go ahead here, flip our hot dogs again. They're probably already bubbling up on that side. And as you can see, they start to curve. Where you cut the hot dog, it seems to separate itself. That's good. That means that you did the right thing. It's not going to burst while you're cooking the thing here. Actually doing a pretty decent job of keeping it on the parts that haven't been cooked yet, so that way it's not going to be overcooked. That's good. I'm going to rinse out my pot while I'm waiting for this to finish. Actually got a little bit of tiny little beans left I'm going to put into the garbage here. Okay, so our baked beans are ready. I'm going to move them over here. Be careful, the bowl's probably steaming hot if you put them all into one bowl like I did. I'm going to say that our buns are probably nicely toasted at this point. Oh, they are. They're perfect. Perfect. Turn this boy off, let it cool down. Hot dogs probably need flipping one more time. And we're almost done. At this point, they're pretty much cooked almost on all sides. They've got no overcooked bubbly skin, which is good. You do want to try to keep the hot dogs near the center of the pan. As you can see, remember I told you they were going to start rolling themselves? Well, here they go. They're getting accustomed to being cooked on one particular area, and they want to stay on that area now, so that means they're almost done. But yeah, you want to try to keep them in the middle for maximum heat. If you're cooking them on the outside, what you're going to find is they're not going to heat up enough, and they're going to take longer to cook, which is going to be a pain in the ass. Alright, another minute, another couple seconds here, we'll be good to go. I'm actually going to get these buns ready for the dog delivery. And what I'll actually do, we're going to do traditional ketchup and we're going to do spicy mayo, because let's face it, spicy mayo is the only mayo you should ever put on a hot dog. I don't understand these people who put that yellow mayo on a hot dog. Like, that does not belong on a hot dog, man. Sorry. Traditional hot dogs always had spicy mayo, sauerkraut, relish, onions, and sometimes ketchup if people want ketchup on it. For me, unfortunately, I don't have any of those other things besides the spicy mayo, so go ahead and put some ketchup on those buns. Almost done. Alright, I think we're good. One last check. Yes, we're looking good. They're looking plump and juicy, cooked. I'm going to go ahead and deliver it straight to the bun, like so. Perfect. Turn your heat right off so that way you don't accidentally keep the stove on. Got some nice spicy mustard. There you go. Whoops. We got a little squirter there. So when you're done, what do you have? 2 juicy, hot, ready to eat American style hot dogs. They look a little messy, but that's because it's poorly cooking with the king. And a bowl of hot, ready to eat beans. In fact, they're still steaming hot here. I'm going to probably dig in soon before they cool down. And that is it. You got toasted buns. You can add whatever you like. Like I said, traditional with the works is spicy mustard, sauerkraut, chopped onions, and relish. That's called the works. And that really is traditionally in America what people put on their hot dogs. So for me, like I said, unfortunately I didn't buy the ingredients this week. I completely forgot. So, but anyway, that's it for this episode of Cooking with the King. That thing's ready to eat. I'm hungry. I'm going to dig in. And maybe next time we'll go for something a little bit more complicated, something that has a little bit more cooking time or whatever. But I guess we'll have to see what I'll have available. But anyway, that is it. Enjoy.